Long delay to actually kick off the program. Technical problems right here, but of course we've been trying to sort that out, switching over from one item to another. Because of course getting to be able to get all the items ready. Of course this is in focus, better late than never. Thank you for making time despite all that delay on the program. My name is Eugene Anangwe. Let's quickly take a look at what we'll be talking about tonight. We're talking about the issue of DRC, and of course there's so many tweets that have been coming through, which will be coming to them. The world has been divided between powers for their interest, not ours. See now, Venezuela, DRC and Crimea, no freedom of choice, and we call it democracy. You have to choose as per the established plan. That is democracy, and of course otherwise you are out, and they bring democracy for you. We'll talk about all these particular issues. Why is the stability of Congo important for Rwanda and the region? Because of course the international community has been voicing their concerns on the DRC election. Which way forward? Is this meddling or genuine concern? We'll talk a bit about that, and of course also the role of the religious bodies. The Catholic Church right there has been vocal and stands their ground on the vote, and they say the announced winner is not the rightful one and the vote needs to be recounted. Of course, we'll be bringing our panelists right here in the program. We have none other than Roger Munyamenda, who's actually an analyst and also a consultant. Thank you so much for joining us on the program.
Thank you for having me.
And of course, we expected to have Gatete, who just last minute told us that he will not be able to join us on the program for reasons better known to him. And of course, we wish him well wherever he is. Thank you so much. Also, we have on phone, we have none other than Mike Itongwa, who will be joining us on the line from Goma. And of course, we also have Derek Tumusiime, who is from the Center for Electoral Justice and Research, is joining us via Skype. If we have them, technical team, let's put them up so that we can be able to start our conversation with them. Let's start with you here, Roger. You've been following the Congo for quite some time, and of course, you've also tried to analyze this in your own way. Talk to us a bit about the current state of affairs. The writing, for some people, it seemed to have already been on the wall. And so what is happening today, what is manifesting itself today, some people say this is something that we expected. Do you think it's something that should surprise us, or it is quite something that is just out of the ordinary?
Well, thank you really to give me the opportunity to say what I have been reading and following. I put up some prediction in my blog a few weeks ago, and some of the prediction happened. The media is still focusing much on the presidential election outcome, but things has happened since the provisional results, notably the parliamentary elections result, that has been showing that the coalition of the President Kabila has won a majority. Well beyond the expectation. That majority will allow two things, major things that everybody will understand. Two, they will be able to nominate a prime minister from their ranks. Two, the majority is so large that they can even change some provision of the constitution, which is a major fact today.
Right.
So Kabila camp has been planning that win for months, and there was very good surprise at the end, the last line of the last mile, showing that the opposition is coming up, and the surprise came up with the win from one of the opposition leader, Felix Tshisekedi. In that sense, it's a really, really new change. It's a shift in the local politics in DRC.
It's a shift, and of course a shift in a sense that we want to hear from one of the Congolese citizens who's actually in Goma, Mike Itongwa, who's live with us on the phone from Goma. Mike, if you can hear me. First of all, you know, the 30th poll was actually seen or expected as to be something. I think we've just lost him right there. We'll be able to call him back. In the meantime, Derek Tumusiime is joining us from Kampala, Center for Electoral Justice and Research. Derek, if you can hear me, we are hearing from our first speaker here in studio that, of course, there's a change, there's a shift in DRC. One of the shifts many people are seeing here is, for the first time, the opposition wins against, the ruling party, but opposition members go and contest, I will say that they're contesting that particular vote. Talk to me about how you're reading the events in DRC Congo from where you sit.
Well, my reading of the events from Congo show two things. One, we are seeing is a possible transfer of power, which has not had over before in the history of Congo. And secondly, that when you look at the statement from SADC that came signed by Ed, it shows that that it is high time that the Congolese galvanize themselves, finding a solution to the problems that are us through a peaceful means, the rule of law, and if need be, we should get the outcome of the constitution. So two things come out of that we're thinking.
Right. Derek, another thing that is very also significant here is we are already seeing voices from the international community. France, for example, was the first to actually come out to strongly, throw some shade on this announced winner, Tshisekedi. Of course, we've seen also Belgium saying that, the results are suspicious. The Catholic Church is also out there. Tell us about the role of the international community specifically in this. Some people see it as meddling in African affairs, while others say, yes, indeed, these are concerns which are genuine. They hold water. What is your take?
Well, as I said this afternoon, that Congo is always a hot cake. Remember, Congo is home to 2/3 cobalt, which is a big industry globally. And Eastern powers perhaps have economic interests that were shielded. However, for all intents and purposes, Congo, like any other part of the international community, when you read the preamble of the Constitution, you see them affirm commitment to a number of national organizations, like the Universal Declaration, a number of UN conventions, the African Charter of People's Rights. All these, therefore, is international community to scrutinize the process. So in a way, it is being that it is a member of the national community.
Yeah.
There is no way events can go on without Western powers.
Right. Derek, we'll come back to you. Let's bring back Roger here. In the meantime, I'm hoping that our technical team is trying to bring back Mike Tonga, who's from Goma. If you get him back, kindly let me know. Of course, Roger, same question to you. The international community, we've already heard from France. We are now hearing from ECOWAS. Not ECOWAS, SADC already saying that, the Congolese vote was not, credible. They want a recount, and they're saying that it is important that power is actually shared so that, there is a win-win situation. Let me read your thoughts on this.
Well, in terms of diplomatical way, expression from SADC is really challenge the election legitimacy and the credibility. If they ask for a vote recount, which is what Fayulu competitor is trying to by using the constitutional court, challenging the result at the constitutional court, it looks like they are close, the position are very close. And this is a major development because we were thinking that in the region, everybody was quiet, there was minimal collateral damage, there was no influx of refugees somewhere, and then all of a sudden SADC take that position. That means something is happening. And as I always said since the beginning, this game is still on. We don't know exactly what's going to happen until the end, until the trophy is awarded. And two, as I was trying to develop before, I was trying to say that this change is a shift from the winner takes all. Everybody gets a piece of it. Even Fayulu Pan coalition was second position for the election of the parliament. So that makes him, if they want to choose him, the opposition leader for the next parliament.
But he wanted the big prize.
That's correct.
Yes. Would he be able to shed down and take?
So it's still an option. An option is left if the Constitutional Court just rejects his claim, or ultimately there is another option that is still on. They can cancel out the election and postpone it.
Postpone it again.
Postpone it again.
Right.
So this is all those things happening in some people calling it mathematics in Congo politics.
Yeah.
It's very complex, and people don't need to rush for the conclusion for the moment.
Right.
What thinks that is for sure today is one camp has managed to control the parliament and the Senate. And the next president, whoever comes from Fayulu or Tshisekedi Felix, will be in a position of cohabitation with the majority.
Right.
Which is unprecedented in the Congo politics.
Very, very, very interesting times indeed. Let's bring back Derek here, because and in the meantime, technology team, kindly help us get Harris on Skype as well. He's been waiting, and also, of course, he says that he's available for us to speak to us, to shed some light. Harris Grant, please let us have him also on Skype. Derek, in the meantime, we have had French Foreign Minister Jean-Yves Le Drian saying that the official Congolese election results declaring Felix Tshisekedi victory in the presidential elections do not tally with results on the ground. Key word here is do not tally with results on the ground. This is a French diplomat saying they do not tally with results on the ground. The person or the institution that has actually issued the results that are of this election is the electoral body right there. It beats logic for some people who say that even diplomats have the electoral bodies, so who do we trust? Who has the mandate to actually announce the official results? Who has the mandate to give what is actually legitimate here? Talk to us about this in your analysis.
Well, you see, my argument here is that why are we having all this? The background to this is that this election should have happened, but it didn't happen. It was the president relinquished power, and therefore we went into this situation not to elections. It's a situation of mistrust, where institutions that manage elections are not trusted by the public, the Congolese people, and it therefore brings all. And that's why the Catholic Church is now one of the most institutions, second to the army in the Congo, that what is said is actually respected by them. I am laboring from them. It deployed over 40,000 observers. And therefore, those observers were at all stations. And therefore, watched the counting went on. Have an upper hand. And it is the same Catholic Church that informed that Martin Fayulu. But let's wait for the Constitutional, which gives us an opportunity. The Constitutional Court test the evidence that Martin Fayulu and his team bring. I'm sure if the evidence is found to be viable, the election could be overturned to see a re-election or a recount at least being announced by the Constitution.
Right. I think what you're saying is that these countries or this, international bodies usually also have their observers on the ground, and so probably this is where the basis of the French foreign minister comes in. But same question as well for you, because one of the things that most people usually say is that when or what is that line between meddling and actual real concerns, because some people are saying everybody is interested in what is actually going on in Congo because of the vast minerals that are there, and so it brings to the attention of the big leagues. The US sent troops just near the border in anticipation of anything happening after this vote. France as well, you're seeing what they're saying, and the colonial powers there. How do we draw that line between meddling, getting into our affairs, and actually real concerns of what is actually going on the ground?
Of course, such information of a troop landing in Gabon or similar from Belgium in Brazzaville has led to a lot of conspiracy theory. The concern I have on that regard is the information from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Belgium asking his national to leave the country, which is more alarming and sending a pressure or something that a real threat.
Yeah.
Other than that, all of the countries, the EU has said that they agree with the process and they want to have the process until the end. So every power and everybody has his own opinion. They usually put it in the diplomatic terms. However, one needs to understand what is at stake,
Yeah.
what the message they are projecting. They used to have, like, they need to have a stamp of credibility
Yeah.
for the major Western power
Yeah.
to have a good election.
Yeah.
Which is, in this case, the country has organized the election by himself.
Yeah.
So they have escaped the thing. They didn't even use the MONUSCO on the ground, which is a sideline MONUSCO. So something is cooking. So, at the end of the day, to say that the election was not credible, it's just to confirm that the local organizers were not able to do it.
Right.
So we don't know exactly what message they're sending. And it's not important. What is more important is what the Congolese people will decide and create at the end of the process. How they manage the contradiction. This constitution is today tested by the event, by the reality on the ground.
But what would the people do? What are they able to even do? Because we saw in the United States of America, after President Donald Trump was elected, there was so many protests. And people expected that it would actually shake the center of power of Donald Trump's administration. But today he's still in office.
Yep. Yeah. Today, we have not reached that stage yet. There is a legal challenge at the Constitutional Court.
Yeah.
We don't know what will be the decision. But we can just speculate, but create some scenarios and do what the media international is doing. But today we don't know yet who will get the trophy, how, and in what form. But what is more important is, at the end of the day, the Congolese people should and will decide what they want to do, with the situation. If they handle it well, and that's why the SADC proposal to have a transitional government of the unity, out of the scheme of the constitutional provision today, which gives the governor responsibility to the majority. So they are saying, share the power, do something about it.
Along the line, as you share the power, work on fixing what is actually wrong.
Exactly.
All right. We're going to take a very short break right about now. All we want to do is just to see if we can be able to bring in Grant Harris, who's a former senior director for Africa in the White House. He's actually been waiting for us all along, and it's only fair that we try and be able to get in touch with them. We're going to take this very short break, fix some of the things that we're able to do right here, and we'll be back after this. You're working on it? All right, so I'm being told that the team is actually working on that. Grant Harris will be joining us in a very short while. Derek Tumusiime, let's bring you back on this particular conversation. Electoral justice, because most of the time when electoral processes are happening, the citizens, the voters usually go out, some wake up very early in the morning to just, be on those long queues. And after that, after they've performed their civic duty, they want to go home and wait for the winner to be announced, the rightful winner. And that for them is justice. But when this is actually hijacked, and most of them usually feel that electoral processes get hijacked along the way by those who rig these processes, talk to us a bit about the place of the citizens of Congo right now and others along these lines of, seeking justice through the vote, and then it is stolen along the line. How do we fix this? It's been seen as a problem around here, not just in Africa, but also in the Western countries.
Yes, I agree with you. The situation with Congo is now in how we handle it as a political leadership of Congo matters so much in the stability of Congo itself, because when Congo copes, Uganda has an influx of it. Likewise, Rwanda and others, including Tanzanians. Now, how do we fix this? Already there is a court process going. But the point is the court process being trusted? Remember, Eugene, 2 years ago, the same constitutional court ruled that should stay in power until it hands over. Yet there was a provision under of 70 Constitution that provided for circumstances under which that covered situations like where the Congolese and such power, presidential power, be received to the president of the Congolese state. So, if the time that the Constitutional Court redeems, the Congolese Constitutional Court redeems itself by finding a fair before court, and alternatively, like Sadak suggests, we can adopt an alternative mechanism where all parties in a government of unity. We have seen it work in South Africa. We have seen it work in Kenya. And currently, you know that between Raila and Odinga, it has worked extensively well to the image of Uhuru's government. To an extent that today, fighting all-handedly and with the...
Interesting.
So there are 2 ways in it. Let's give the constitutional to redeem itself, and also at base we had alternative resolution mechanisms that were adopted elsewhere, like in South Africa.
Right. What I hear from you, Derek, is that it has worked in South Africa, the government of national unity, the handshake in Kenya, you refer to it, and you feel this can also work in the DRC. But Rogers, I mean, the people of Congo, most of them, we saw after that announcement, there was some jubilation in parts of Congo. There are some jubilations in those, some in the diaspora. And for some people who were spoken to, some of them, they were just happy that former President Kabila is no longer in power. For some, that was more important than anything else. Whoever comes on, it doesn't really matter. But as long as Kabila is off the power, that was very important for them. But looking at the dynamics right now, because if the Constitutional Court comes in and says that we will be looking into this issue, of course, the trophy, as you were saying, will not be given out immediately. We'll need to have some time, like we've seen in Kenya, before the swearing in is actually done. And that means more time for President Kabila in office. Analyze this for us.
Well, that will happen, as the Electoral Commission chairman said. It's either you accept the results, bluntly told the Security Council, we accept the results that we provided, or we cancel out the election. As simple as that. If that scenario happens, which is among the scenario, what will be the end of at the end of the day? What can happen? Is it the end of the world? This constitution from the Congo has 13 years only old. In most of the country, they keep changing it like 15 years or 3 times per century, major change. So these things will happen, and the devils are in the details. Even in the cohabitation, if they put Tshisekedi at the helm with the majority of Prime Minister from the majority, how are they going to share? Who is unprecedented, because nobody has planned the details on how the government will be doing.
So they'll have to go for a referendum
to
amend the constitution?
They will have to have the talks.
Yeah.
They have to sit together and say, to put out the details, to sort out even the cohabitation, how it happen. And that talks is exactly part of the things. Instead of waiting such a thing to happen and the people burn the country, it's better than fixing it before, ahead.
And the people have argued and said that probably this is what President Kabila really wanted in the end, because he probably played his cards to ensure that there's still some buying of time still on that particular seat. Is this how you analyze that as well?
Well, that is the end of the result. Is the time has been bought. The church today, people are criticizing, has managed to put an agreement at the last day of 2016 of the term of Kabila, which allowed them or the regime to keep on and prepare the election for 2 years. So the role of the church, the civil society, is to mediate. They have done it. So you won't be surprised if somebody came together today to also propose some mediation. Whatever the ultimate objective of individual group or individual Kabila or the opposition, it's a half full, half glass situation today. We don't know yet. But there is the text win all it won't happen anymore.
Right.
This is what I think.
Right.
In Congo politics, the people used to have like a analogy in the football. If you see a team winning or hitting a goal, they will whip the virtual adversary and say that we kill you.
Yeah.
So if that's the thinking in the politics, then we have a risk.
We have a problem.
We have a problem.
Right.
People need to accept that they can share power.
Yeah.
There are some other options. So I'm not here to advocate to say that the truth of the ballot was fine or given the process was okay.
Yeah.
I'm saying this is the situation today we need to deal with. That has an impact on the regional stability
Right.
and in the neighbors. So we need to thread it very careful and to allow people to go into those mediation avenues instead of like confrontation,
confronting each other. Yeah. Derek, well, you're still with us. I mean, this whole issue of power sharing, we see that it seemingly is taking a precedent across Africa. And for some people in some political parties, some of them feel that it is unfair. We've seen, for example, in Kenya, when Raila Odinga did lose the election, he claimed, of course, he said that they had actually won the election, it was stolen from them, and there was a power sharing agreement that actually took place after some time. Those who were in the camp that had won felt that these people, they lost. Why are we rewarding people who have lost? Are we creating a precedent where people would be just stealing elections so that they still share power and still be in the realms of power, in your analysis?
Well, I don't think power sharing is a scapegoat for losers in an election. I think power sharing is in situations where it is the only way out. Where you have a volatile situation, the losing party who have accepted that have actually lost the election, despite even the court process, they actually decide to take violence in seeking power. So it's not in fact, it brings the country together at an election. Remember, an election divides the country. With a country like Congo, is so much tribalistic, and with the international of invested international partners, it's important that the Congolese people and we Africans outside support them to unite in having a peaceful transition this time round. So I think it is not a way out with the losers. It is something that is usually accepted in such a situation where the situation is volatile. A good example is had Kofi Annan not brought together a conversation between Raila Odinga and I'm telling you, Kenya would not have had a peaceful post-election situation, especially after. So it is important that,
right,
like Rogers in the studio, that mediation is adopted in this because they only have one Congo.
Right.
It's the time for a paradigm shift to happen.
Perfect. Derek and, of course, Rogers, we want to take a very short break, sip some water, and, of course, fix some technical problems that we are having here in getting the other panelists that we are supposed to have right on the program. Stay with us. We're back in a short while.
Magic FM.
Isaha rero y'isa 10:18 of course ni Magic Drive turi kumwe mpaka isa mwa z'umugoroba. kudutega amatwi kuri 90.7 Magic FM mace kumwe na Gerard ndetse na Michelle Iradukunda.
nanone iki ni ikiganiro Magic Morning mwumva kuva kwa mbere kugera kuri gatano tugikora kuva saa 2 za mu gitondo kugera saa 3 za mu gitondo ni mukuru w'urushi
Magic FM.
Back. Thank you so much for being with us right here on In Focus. And of course, our sincere apologies to Grant Harris from wherever you're watching us right now. And of course, Mikey Tongwa. We were not able to carry you live on this particular broadcast. We'll endeavor to fix the technical issues that we've had so that we're able to have you on another opportunity. But of course, many thanks, Rogers Munyamenda, who's our analyst today in the program and also a consultant, and Derek Tumusiime, who's joining us from the Center for Electoral Justice and Research. Now, the role of the church, because most of the people seem to be saying that the Catholic Church in Congo is setting a very strong precedent in actually where the civil society and the religious bodies need to stand when it comes to electoral processes. Many times we've seen the church going in bed with the ruling parties. We saw that even here in Rwanda during the 1994 genocide against the Tutsis. In Kenya, the church has also been accused in many instances of actually being in bed with government, only standing up when it is too late, a little too late. But in Congo, we've seen the Catholics saying, no, the vote was not won by the person announced by Electoral Commission, and because the numbers don't match what we have, and we have a person who we believe actually won. But they didn't go ahead to say who the winner is. Let me hear your analysis, first of all, on this. The choice of words here, saying that the winner is not the one announced, but still not going ahead to say who they believe actually did win. How is this hurting the whole process?
Well, the first thing is we need to remind is that the Senko, or the Catholic Church in the Congo, has been always in the center of politics in the Congo. That's since Mobutu. It's not something new.
Yeah.
They've been there, they've been fighting with the Mobutu regime. One of the major battles was the ban of Christian names by Mobutu at that very particular time. And since then, the Catholic Church has been always in politics. In the 80s, at the National Conference, they even held the office chairmanship of the conference, National Conference, and the parliament that came out from that National Conference. Since then, it's just like as a tradition now. They feel the responsibility to be part. They have been empowered, and they will keep it until.
Right. And some people say that this is not a good thing. Is it
it's not a good thing, but if the country is not fixing its politics, or people are getting poor, or there is a tension, as a civil society everywhere, they take that role because there's a vacuum.
There's a vacuum.
There is a vacuum. It's not now. I don't say that they don't have hidden agenda or they don't work with somebody, but if the government is giving the pretext to the civil society to play the role of the things, or the political party are not playing it. Let's remind you that in the Congo that I keep telling people with 600 parties along the line of the tribal parties. What else is remaining to do? Somebody has to be in the middle to play that role because the other party are into interests.
Right. So in this case, they're just filling the gap, that vacuum that is there.
Yes. Right. Now, what they do with it is different.
It is different.
It's something different.
Right.
And how, or if there is in the church some individual eminence or cardinals, bishop with a different agenda, probably that's possible.
Right. And so it could be even dangerous, or it could be a good thing.
Absolutely.
That's how it is. Let's hear what Derek Tumusiime thinks about this. The role of the church, the role of religious bodies in actually filling vacuums, as Roger is saying here. He says the church in Congo is actually just filling a void that is actually missing out there. What is your read on this particular issue? Is it a good thing? Is this what most religious bodies in other African countries need to be doing right now?
You know, Eugene, you have actually put it very right. Now, whether the vacuum is there or not, it is true. Not Congo, but all Africa. I want to agree with Roger that today there is absence of the state or republic governments. The ordinary lives of citizens cannot be actually seen or appreciated by citizens. Because when most leaders are elected into positions of power, they take them as positions that it is our time to, and they expect providing services to the people. Now, the Catholic Church all over the world, where it operates, is established into providing education services, health services, access to basic medicines among the poor. For instance, in Congo, the most salary displaced people in Congo are being carried by the Catholic Church and Caritas. So therefore, that vacuum has enough for the church to take over that place.
Right.
And again, the Catholic Church itself is not due to politics globally. As you know, the Pope is a head of state. Therefore, he plays the role, preserving his religious role. Therefore, the Catholic Church is space, and therefore they are taking the politicians into welcome.
Right, they're taking their space on this. Before we go, Rogers, I want to also ask you, for Rwanda specifically, we understand Congo is mostly, or in many cases, part of the equation whenever we talk about Rwanda and its history. Historically, we've seen and heard of the fact that most of the FDLR have also been, putting up base right there in Congo. We've heard Tshisekedi himself in some interviews with some media pronouncing himself on this particular issue, saying that the leadership of Congo from the past, from the days of Mobutu, did fail Rwanda in actually not disarming the FDLR and other elements, and even making sure that they are neutralized. He seems to be saying that they are ready. If he's finally given that particular trophy officially, they are ready to actually take this head on and work on some of these issues in ensuring good neighborliness with Rwanda. Mm-hmm. Is this a person that Rwanda needs, for instance? I know Rwanda is not, as a country, going to vote in Congo, but as far as regional interest, geopolitics is concerned, is this a person that Rwanda feels that's a person that would want to be part of our allies here?
I guess Rwanda will not take it at a personal level. Mm-hmm. It's a matter of principle.
Right.
If there is a stability there, and the person in charge, definitely there will be a discussion, a dialogue, probably, and the goodwill being both sides. Definitely, something is positive will come out of it. Mm. If there is instability and turmoils and influx of refugee, and some negative force take advantage of it, then it's a matter of concern for Rwanda. Mm. So there is two levels of analyzing the thing. First of all, it's immediate needs. We need to take care of what is happening today. Mm. There will be a diplomatic relation, a good talks and a discussion with the relevant authority that the people from Congo have chosen by themselves. Wherever they will put, they will get the trophy. That discussion will continue at impersonal level, right. Without necessarily choosing the person. Right. We're going to take the person that come out from the process and they respect him. The second thing, Rwanda has an interest to have like a good relation because Congo to be in good form because there is a trade development, the business to engage. So at the end of the day, if we look at what Rwanda wants to achieve, is integration, CFTA, all those things, if there is a dark hole somewhere around us, it is very difficult to even to achieve those objectives that are very noble. That's the Pan-African ideas. We need to have a neighbor that we can transact, we can deal with. And lastly, every time there is a side losing in the battle of politics in the Congo, they come and blame Rwanda always. sometimes even the winner. So we need to pay attention. It's a matter of concern. It's not something that we just take it for granted or leave it as it is.
Right.
We need to engage people in Rwanda as far as I know, is ready to engage whoever is bringing that peace and stability.
Right.
And lastly, the stability long term relies on how the governance will be enforced in the Congo. If with the bad governance, the human index is still declining, the chance is that we just postpone the issue for the next election. So that's why I'm saying, and keep saying that, they need to be a talk to change the political order and to fix the government issues. That will be the lasting solution. Otherwise, we are going to run in a cycle. Every 5 years, we run into trouble.
And someone was saying on Twitter over there that if we do not fix this ourselves, someone from outside will always come and want to fix this for us.
Made it for it.
Right. Derek, I want to hear your last thoughts. Where do you see this ending? Your prediction, how do you see the situation in the DRC ending up in the next coming weeks?
Well, my prediction is that I hope to see it being the presidential election report being decided decisively and very recount this election, because I'm sure Congo is not ready for another election. I think that will be the outcome of that decision. That's my prediction I have. Maybe if I am to add on what Roger said, that Congo, the problem of a political transition in Congo is the neighboring also see that Congo also solves it, especially as far as happening. External forces are hostile to governments around the region. For example, the ADF question, the killings, they are not. We pray that all this is sort of this.
Right, Derek. The last words are not being heard quite clearly, so I'd have to cut it right there. I think we seem to be losing the connection right there. Rogers, I want to come back to you. But thank you so much, Derek, for being part of the program. Thank you for those particular remarks. Derek Tumusiime, Center for Electoral Justice and Research, joining us via Skype. Rogers, I want to give you the last remarks, last thoughts right here. Where do you see this ending in the next few weeks to come?
Well, all the scenarios that we've been reading might happen, but usually I also say that every time that people predict doom in the Congo, nothing happened, and the volcano erupt when nobody is expecting it. I think that's what is going to happen is it's probably controlled. People talk about backdoor deals, things like that, which is part of the tradition from the Congo history and the way they conducted politics there. So don't be surprised that it be settled contrary to what people believe. Also, don't be surprised if there is an eruption, but likely to be some, how do you call it, earthquake, but no big deal will happen until the next 3 weeks.
They'll be able to manage. But the people have always been asking, why isn't the Catholic Church saying who they think really won? Why? Why do you think they're not saying yet?
First of all, it was legal. There was a legal implication.
Yeah.
They could not say who is the winner.
Yeah.
Because that will be a criminal offense.
Yeah.
So I think they avoided. Two, they have implied that it's not the dauphin, the person that was fronted by Kabila.
Yeah.
That was the only thing that was passed as a message.
Right. Let's read this very quickly. Christopher Itezo, I always doubt on Africa indecency when superpowers still have right to challenge our political decisions. Their quick comments on DRC election result has worsened the post-election period. Africa should rise as one voice and say we are fed up with neocolonialism. I don't know if you agree with that or not. We have one quick one right here, the House of Congo, which says, yes, they want a recount to establish who won the election, but in the same communique, they encourage a government of national unity, which would be against the will of the people. And then very quickly, finally, Rugundana says, I am concerned with the security and stability of citizens after election. It has become a habit that after announcing election results, citizens start to suffer due to opposing forces. Is this really fair? Why can't world theories be revised? It's a very important point that we want to end this conversation with. Of course, electoral processes should never be part of the destabilizing factors in our nations. This particular narrative about Africa should actually end. It has to end with us. Of course, that's the time we had to speak about this particular issue. Let's keep talking on our social media platforms. Apologies sincerely over the technical hitches that we've had. Of course, to the panelists who were supposed to come here. I know you spared your time, but don't be able to be on the show. We apologize for that. We'll fix it. Thank you for being a part of the program. As always, my name is Eugene Andangwe. Good night.